Hello again and welcome back. Daily trade review with my strawberry lemonade. Oh, sorry, raspberry lemonade. Got to get that straight. Mmm, it's very, very good. It was a great day. I had a lot of fun, as you can see here on the bottom chart with Theramune. They had some news today. Results for TH104 as a prophylaxis against respiratory depression from fentanyl and ultra potent opioids, highlighting potential superiority over existing treatments. I guess opioid recovery is a big thing in North America, and that's good that they're helping people getting over at least respiratory depression. Interesting. Um, it's where your lungs get they're sad, right? So I don't know. Maybe it's probably like compression, maybe. I literally don't know, but that's the headline for you all, and it fits the profile, right? So it's a micro cap basically. It's only at 23 million now after a massive 300% run basically. 250 since our entry currently. So what an absolute shredder this was. And we entered this in the morning, a little late. I've been late all week, but it is what it is. We have the news pop, breaks down, view up recovery. If we would have entered here, I think we would have got burned, right? Because our stop would have been low, been below, this pullback here. And we would have been aiming up here towards the bottom of the gap. It did pay off great, sure, but we would have got stopped out because this fell well below this low here. So getting in on it in the morning on the reversal, pairing it with our key level breakout, right? So we're a little bit late. A lot of people would have liked to be in this trade earlier on in the morning here, but you can't be perfect, right? Just get in. Everything else was kind of dying in the morning, and this was showing strength, right? So we give it a shot. Entering above VWAP with our stop loss, below that recent low. And we're taking profits at the bottom of the gap. It does have a gap on the 1 day, which is a reason why we like it, because we've seen this gap ahead of time, right? So, we want to at least play it up to the bottom. Gaps often reject, but if you can get into the gap and you can fill the gap, if you can get above the gap, oh my gosh. And now, not only that, but we've cleared the 200, and now we're just clear skies. We are free sailing. We might want to mark this out though. Let me turn that magnet on. I'm just gonna send this over here. This is maybe a spot for rejection. We can also kind of look here. Is there any secondary gaps to play? Because no one expected it to run like this, so no one was really charting these levels out yet, I don't think. And oh no, that's not gonna happen. That'll never happen. But in case it does, whatever, we'll mark it out. I ain't scared. That's so far above everything we're currently seeing, though. So that's like super short squeeze levels. But now we can, just go back to our intraday, and you can see we're approaching that level that we found. So probably reject there. Nothing runs forever, and it would be thousands of percents if it did go any further. So, anyways, back to the start of the day. We have the gap drawn, so we like that, right? We want to play it up to the bottom of the gap. That's our, 1-to-1 risk reward. We're selling, that 75, 80%, whatever it happens to be. Then we get the 2-to-1, 3-to-1, 4-to-1, which is basically the top of the gap, which didn't necessarily take profits here, but it got really close, right? But we do get it a little bit later on, which is great. With confirmation, like lots of time to get an order filled here. And then our 5-to-1, which is great. And then this ran all the way to, what is this, like a 12-to-1 risk reward at that 250% from our original ads this morning. So if you still had runners, you'd be definitely scaling those out more. And it's kind of funny. Yesterday's video was bragging about, that 5-to-1 risk reward is perfect. Look how nice it played out here. Sold the last of my shares right at the top. I'm a god, boy genius. And then today this happens, right? So, in honesty, I miss out on a lot of this. I sold my last runners at this 5-to-1 risk reward. right? At that what was that, 330, 340? Um, so we're all the way up at $6 here. So missing out on a lot of it, but still getting a fair portion of that. And it's one of those things where not everything runs as hard, and you don't want to just get stuck with selling runners at entry. Um, you do want to scale them out as it runs higher. You don't want to hold them to sell them higher and then have it drop, right? And that's why we do it incrementally along the way. Um, but maybe we double it each time. Maybe we can change it into the future if this becomes a problem, right? It's gonna be something we'll observe. Maybe we do 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 4-to-1, 8-to-1, 16-to-1 for the last ones. Oh, that would be crazy, right? So that could potentially give us a little bit more headroom, and while still getting those early scale outs, that 1, that 2, those are really important. And even that 4 is quite common, right? But then we get to hold a little bit for that big scale out at 8 and maybe, at 16. So that could be a potential modification to our scale up process that we look at. So this was pretty cool. Um, Opioid recovery news could become a bit of a theme after how hard this ran today. Um, Moving on, NBY had no news, and we did get a nice scale out here off reversal in the morning. Post earnings is the thing, right? Though, and that's been a theme in the last however many videos, the last couple of weeks. I feel like where we see earnings on small caps or micro caps, you could call it, just kind of rip, right? So, what did this do? 60 cents to $1. That's impressive, and again, no one knows how hard something runs really. What the market decides to pick up volume wise and push. Um, so we get our 1-to-1. We don't get the 2-to-1. It is what it is, right? And that's again why we always are scaling out on that 1-to-1 risk reward, because many times, and most times, in fact, the trade will at some point turn against you, and you don't want to be left, holding full risk at the top, right? Definitely reduce that risk, scale out, and be a wiener. AUUD announces a new B2B business model with strategic shift to AI-driven music discovery, which is like whatever. How are you gonna possibly dethrone Spotify? Good luck, bro. But it ripped. $2 all the way up to 320. Pretty impressive, but it's not holding gains. It's just I don't know how you can compete against Spotify, honestly. TIVC, um, new drug application for the treatment of acute radiation syndrome, which I guess would maybe be relevant for people undergoing chemo, right? So cancer news sometimes is a thing, and we watch it, right? We're checking it out. Can't hold VWAP, breaks down and really just shreds down. Gives back most of its gains, unfortunately. Um, and then THAR, we talked about it on the bottom, just being an absolute monster. I did play the Spy today as well. I don't have screenshots of the option contracts from my broker. I do trade on a laptop, a secure computer. That's not my main rig here. But all the visual reference points are the same. And we had a nice put here. There was a break of structure off this morning's bleed down. So we get in on that. I kind of wanted more of a retracement to VWAP and then kind of enter blindly. But we take what we can get. So we have our entry where we break this candle here. Oops. Right, so when the price breaks right there, that's our entry basically. And, the stop loss is above this high. And we shoot for that 1-to-1 risk reward. We do get it. What do we do? 34 cents to 40 cents on our contracts. Playing 630s, and then a little bit later playing 635s here, which was pretty decent. And those went 39 to 44. I think they went actually quite a bit higher, but I'm scaling out. I'm taking my 10% and leaving it at that. And then we have a break of structure here on the bullish side of things, where the price breaks this previous high. So we like that entry on the clean candles here. A little bit premature because it does break down, but it holds VWAP, right? Then holds a 200. And then we kind of have like a downtrend breakout here, right? It's not much of one, but it's there, right? Um, Pretty sloppy. Maybe more clear on the 5-minute. And we get some nice expansion, but ultimately do bleed back down to VWAP, which was a clear separation point, right? And that's how you use VWAP. Below VWAP, very, very bullish, bearish, sorry. But if you can get above VWAP, then it becomes bullish, right? The price will reject it or use it as support depending on whether you're below or above. And that's what makes the breakthroughs, when you do break either through one way or the other, so important, because it's like a change in the state of delivery for the most part, or confirmation of the change. So that was pretty cool. And then, setting our stop here below the swing low and our 1-to-1, which we don't necessarily get close, but don't get it, right? I didn't have a contract for this, but just kind of trying to play out technicals day to day on the S&P 500, just to, improve my charting, right? Because then I can get some plays that always are going to have that normalized liquidity. Some of the small caps, they might hit hard in the morning. You get all this influx of volume in the morning here, and then there's nothing all day. There's not a drop of volumes. It's like to chart this is impossible. To practice your technicals on it is very hard. There's no structure here, but with the large cap index ETF here, we get good volume and structure forms based on that throughout the day and every day, and it's easy to play. So, interest rates 28 days, 80 some percent chance of a rate cut. 27 days now. Tomorrow has already come, I guess. And down from 83 to 82. So, we can keep an eye on this and see how it changes in the next month as we approach that potential rate cut. I do think the general market will bleed down into that. But it's so strong. Like every step down immediately is eaten up. Now I mentioned this where the reverse repos at record lows for some time, in a long time, for the first time in a long time, I should say. So I think that large participants feel confidence in the broader market. So I don't think any downturn would be too extensive or prolonged. I think it will just be bottomed up pretty aggressively. But again, I don't know. We'll watch it. On the 4-hour, I think we kind of retesting a few levels here. Maybe that's on the 1 day. The recovery's strong though, and the recovery happens quite quickly, right? A few days of down, but then the down is gone like a day or two later, right? So, a few days of down, and then soon the down will be gone, and we're on our way again. Testing the 21 on the 1 day. We lose this. I honestly would not doubt the 622.50 on the 1 day. But who knows? Who knows? There's a nice gap here too that we've not charted yet. So maybe we could just target this gap, right? Get entry here, not quite make it there, or a couple days go by. This, catches up to the price, enters the gap while the price enters the gap, and they meet here. That could be something that we look for. If we don't enter the gap at all and we just keep going, market's so strong, right? That's a clear sign. But lots of times we like to re-enter the gap. Like here we have this gap filled. We're going up, we're going up, we're going up. Then we enter it, and then we explode upwards from that re-entry of the gap, right? So, going up, going up, going up. We've got a gap here created, right? going up, re-enter the gap, and then probably explode upwards. I guess. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see day by day how things fold out. Right now, things are still looking kind of bearish. We're in a downtrend, clearly, which is formed, and, maybe we retest this downtrend and then break down, right? A little up, then down. Dealio, how that kind of happens sometimes. And aside from that, GameStop updates are in their own video for everyone. And thanks for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon in the next.